who do not seem to have enjoyed any benefits of democracy. No electricity, no sewer lines, no water connections. And this has to be addressed. We've gone to border posts in this province because it is not known to many South Africans outside of Mpumalanga, but Mpumalanga has 2 national borders. And we have witnessed people crossing those borders right in the presence of the much celebrated border management authorities who looked thoroughly disinterested and undercapacitated to do their work. This is a problem that is affecting the people of Mpumalanga, and a problem that requires a party like ActionSA to address. So the work of our teams in Mpumalanga is both important and a mountain that has to be climbed, but I am very confident after working with our structures in the last few days, and certainly with engaging Toko and understanding her qualities as a leader, that the people of Mpumalanga will be well led in this province going forward. It is now my great honor to say a few words about our guest of honor here today. And Toko was born in 1955 in the town of Barberton. She was the daughter of a domestic worker, and her father was a chef. And you can see when Toko speaks about her parents, she derives much of her values from her parents, and her values as a leader is informed by her upbringing. She was schooled in Barberton and also in Amanzimtoti in KwaZulu-Natal, where she also studied teaching at the Ngwenya College of Education here in Nelspruit. She specialized in maths and science, which I think is a very important point, because we know how important maths and science is to ensuring that children who leave school are equipped to find work. And I can only help but think of 15 years of school leavers who have become engineers and doctors because of her love and care, must be looking upon this moment and saying this is the right leader for ActionSA to choose. She was focused on children, and it's very clear that she spent many hours past the ordinary working day teaching her children, and scheduled many special classes for those who needed the love and care of a teacher who was more than just there for ordinary office hours. She joined the ANC through the UDF in 1986 and was recruited by Roger Sishi, who was an important figure in the UDF at the time. She was also a founding member of SATU, and it's an interesting thing that in 2 months we have launched a provincial chairperson in Limpopo and in Mpumalanga with their origins in SATU. But the one thing that we are very clear about is when you look at those people who were involved in starting SATU, the agenda of the children was still in their hearts. And if you look at the agenda of SATU today, it is very much absent. She was a Justice of the Peace in the 1994 elections in the Barberton Magisterial District, and was responsible for observing the local government elections, particularly from the important work of promoting peace. For those of you who will remember, the early 90s was an extraordinarily volatile time in our country, and there was very good work done by organizations that Toko was a part to ensure that South Africa could experience those incredible elections in 1994 that gave birth to our democracy. She was the first deputy chairperson of the South African Local Government Association. She was the chairperson of the Regional Services Council in the Lowveld Escarpment District. For what it's worth, we now call that Municipal Managers, and you call that a district council now. But Toko's time in local government has seen the entire development of the local government framework from what it was in the mid-90s to what it is today, arising from the changes in the early 2000s, where she served as a CEO and eventually a municipal manager. Shortly after 1994, Toko also became a provincial chairperson of the ANC Women's League here in Mpumalanga, serving on the NEC of the ANC's Women's League. But one thing that does need to be addressed here today is that for her bravery, Toko suffered terrible attacks from people in the ANC. And it's often so commonplace for South Africans who stand up to what is wrong, is people come to vilify them. And people sought to smear her name with all kinds of allegations. And ActionSA has worked with Toko. We have assessed those things. And we are very proud to say that we sit with a South African who was treated this way because she wouldn't do what was wrong. And she stood up for the people of this country. And as so often is the case, when you do that, people come after you. And Toko didn't fight it. She participated in investigations. from the public protector, and all manner of places, which actually had made no findings against Toko. And in the process, her name was cleared. And we stand with her today to say that she is one of us. She is a leader. She is a person of high ethics. She is a person with a background in education, which we want to see an overhaul of our education system. She is a person who is deeply respected in the business community of Mpumalanga, and she is a person whose values we believe fundamentally belong in ActionSA. And it is with that that I have the great pride in introducing Toko to say a few words to you today. Ladies and gentlemen, Toko Mashallah.
Good morning, South Africans in general, and good morning, Mpumalangas in particular. It is really an honor for me to be given this mammoth task, but with you on board, I don't think it would be a heavy burden for me, because it's easier to be said you are a leader, but if you are not leading people who are committed, it becomes a very terrible thing. You can't drive a train if all those the hooks are loose. So I hope, and I've seen how much you have worked without structures, without a leader, but you worked very hard. I'm so impressed. So, being, as Michael, the chairperson has said, I've been a teacher, and I've been a teacher because I loved kids. I'm happy that I see someone who raised me, who taught me how to love people. I'm the third born, coming after two boys, so I'm the elder sister. So I became a sort of a mother at an early age. So that's why mothering people to me is not a problem. As long as when I'm being a mother, you become a child. You don't become mothers, both of us. But then I taught at Mjindi. I started teaching in KwaZulu-Natal. That's when I was involved in politics. I started in KwaZulu-Natal, and I was telling Michael that when we were politicking in KZN, it was so difficult. You know, in the Transvaal, we were fighting the apartheid government, the National Party. But in KZN, we were fighting even your own brother, because in one house, you find that there's ANC person, it was UDF then, and Inkatha people. And I taught under very extreme conditions. People don't know that in KZN, on Thursday, we were forced to wear the khakis, the Inkatha uniform, with Mangosuthu's photo on our shoulders. Every teacher was forced to do that. So when I came back home, then when SATWA started, I was interested really, because I realized that teachers were not taken seriously, and the kids, the education itself, was not what we got as we were growing up. So that's why I started, I was part of the founding members of SATU in the province. I taught maths and science, as Michael has said. It's a very difficult subject when you think of it, but it is a very easy subject when you've got a good teacher like myself to teach you how to solve for X. So it was so easy for me to help those kids solve for X. They did solve for X. And I've got teachers, engineers, doctors who always calls me. I remember one doctor came to Barberton, he's in Pretoria now. He came and he said, like, what can I do for you? Where's the pain? I said, no, but I don't have a pain. Said, no, I want to show you what you taught me, that I can erase your pain now. So, you know, being a teacher is so nice when it comes to that, when you see people going forward, you know, engineers building bridges and everything. Then when it comes to my being the member of the ANC, you all know that when you become a UDF, automatically we then became members of the ANC. I work very hard. People of more especially of KwaZulu knows very well. There are roads that I built which are still standing with no potholes now, not the latest one, because I made sure that cadre deployment was not for me. I appointed a lot of young engineers. Some of the people that I employed are in high positions now, because I was not appointing a comrade, I was appointing a person who's going to work. So the roads and the bridges that they were built during my tenure as the municipal manager of Ehlanzeni are still there even today. Ehlanzeni, when I was a municipal manager, people, even from the provincial government, everybody wanted to be part of Ehlanzeni, because they realized that Ehlanzeni is the place to be. Delivery was the order of the day. If you don't deliver, you must go home. But fortunately, I never, disciplined, more especially your engineers, because they knew that if you build this road now and it's not a good road, it will affect my grandkids and your grandkids as an engineer. So when it comes to delivery, I was very strict. I remember one time I went to Nkomazi, I think it's Masibekela or where. That was in 1998. And we were opening a tap water, not even in the yard, on the street, the communal taps. I saw a 78-year-old lady who was seeing water for the first time in her life coming from a tap. That old lady was playing with that water like a kid, because she has never seen water. She knows that if you want water, you must go to the river. So those are the things. I'm proud to say that if you go to Nkomazi, Matibiti, Pinar, all those areas that I worked at, you can go and check all the things that I did. I did because I had a committed team, of which all of them, after I left, because we didn't agree in doing some of the naughty things, some of them were chased away. Good people, they were chased away. They went and opened consultancy. Today they are consulting with those people instead of being the employees of the municipalities. I also, when I became a municipal manager, there was the town clerks board, if you remember them. And the town clerks board was a boys' choir, a white boys' choir. So I was part of the founding member of the Institute of Local Government Managers. And in 2 years' time, I became the president of the nationally, the president of the Institute of Local Government Managers. So when I say I did all these things being a municipal manager, and why my employees, the people who were reporting to me, understood me. They even chose me when there was a competition, the nationwide competition for choosing the best boss in the country. I won that award to be the boss of the year 23-24. So I won that because the people I was working with were happy. I was strict, I was a slave driver, but they were happy because they could see the results. Now, I think now I want to say, what is it that I'm bringing to ActionSA? Mpumalanga it's bordered by 2 countries, Mozambique and Swaziland. And those villages next to those countries are a mess, because the kids from the countries just cross over to come to school. The parents just cross over to come and get SASA. They cross over to come and to hospitals. And we find that our hospitals are so full, our people cannot access the health system because there are people who are coming from outside. And the regime we have, or the government we have, allows that those people must come. If you can sit at the border of, more especially of Swaziland, tomorrow the old age pension is being paid, you'll see those old ladies who are crossing over to South Africa to collect that. And we are helping them as South Africans. We are the ones who are giving them the addresses to go and claim those things. Until we say as South Africans, we love South Africa and we love ourselves. Let me tell you something. I never joined ActionSA because I want to be a politician. I politics all my life, but I joined ActionSA because I want to fix South Africa. I joined ActionSA because of the word action. I'm sick and tired of talking about issues. I want to see action. I loved one day I was seeing a video of the president where he said, I don't want people in ActionSA to call each other comrades, because comrades are thugs, are crooks, are everything. And I agree, President, it is true. I don't want a person to call me a comrade, because immediately we start being comrades. There's something wrong with that. We are friends, we are no longer actioners, we are no longer here to do what we are supposed to do. So our province is fertile ground for fixing South Africa. We've got agriculture in this province. If you see the farms that were given to our own people, those farms are dead today. Those were commercial farmers, but it's dead not because the people wanted to kill it. They were given those farms and they were left alone. So as ActionSA, we can't afford to risk food. We can risk anything, but you can't afford to risk food. We've got the minerals in this province, a lot of minerals. I once spoke to one mine in Witbank, because I'm in Witbank, and I said, but why is Witbank having so much potholes when we have so many mines here? You know, that CEO said to me, Toko, we can't give the municipality money. Come with a project, we'll fund the project. Because if we give the municipality money, it's either they pay salaries with it or it's just vanished. So it's not that there's no money in South Africa. Money is there. People are eager to put money into the communities, but the money doesn't go where it's supposed to go. We have tourism in this province. As ActionSA, let's make sure that people come to visit South Africa and the province also, because by doing this, that will be creating jobs. The unemployment that is outside here, yes, we may cry that there's crime and everything, which I don't condone, but if we can give people work, they'll be tired to go after people in the night because they'll be coming from work. So the most important thing is, let's give people employment, let people work. And really, I want to invite people from any other political party that is not prepared to fix South Africa, more especially from the party that I'm coming from, to come and join ActionSA so that we all together, we fix this country. This country needs to be fixed, and it can be fixed. With our core values as ActionSA, we want economic prosperity, and it's easy to do it. Our province is fertile ground to do those things. We want social legal system which will be helpful to people. What is happening in this country, lawlessness, it's scary. You don't know what to do, and we don't want to leave this country. This is our country. So the best way for us to do is to fix this country. But really, I'm deeply humbled, and I promise that I will do what you expect me to do, because it is from inside my heart to see this country that I worked for so much being in tatters like it is. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Togo. Thank you very much, Michael, and the general next to me, and Sam, our communications director. But I think more importantly, you, the audience, and people of Mpumalanga. I think for us as ActionSA, it's a real great privilege. Real privilege, deep one for that matter, for us to really be able to be here this morning. This is a historic moment. Historic in the sense that we're in a project, what is called ActionSA 2024 project to fix South Africa. We're on that journey, and for having someone like Toko joining us. I think it's really something that we're really grateful for. So, listening to you, Toko, and obviously my engagement with you the last few months, thank you so much for accepting to take over this responsibility, because as a country, if we are not going to dirty our hands and throw our heads in the ring and sit on the fence and saying politics is not for us, I can tell you, South Africans, politics are going to follow you. The only way you can get to politics to leave you alone, that's when you show interest in politics. There's this nonsense, call it nonsense, in this country where they tell you that your vote is a secret, so that they can manipulate you. I, Herman Mashaba, I declare my vote is not a secret. I vote for ActionSA. I voted for ANC twice in 1994 with the hope, real hope, that I was going to see my children and my grandchildren enjoying the fruits of a dignity of being South Africans. 28 years later, I'm more ashamed of my country than I was pre-1994. Very big statement I'm making. Born and raised in an evil system. You can imagine I was born in 1959, the year after H.F. Verwoerd took over power. Remember, H.F. Verwoerd became the architect of apartheid, took over as Prime Minister of South Africa in 1958, and a year later I was born. So I was born in really crazy times. I mean, and I'm sure some of you, if you don't know who H.F. Verwoerd was, please study that man, how he hated us as black people. He had no way like Hitler to get rid of us. So I was born and raised under such abnormal environment. But fortunate enough, I took a decision through the wisdom of my grandfather to ensure that I liberate myself. And I've been a free man now over the last almost 63 years. In fact, 26th of August, I'll be 63, so I'm not a young man. I always keep telling people, Toko, I didn't even know that tomorrow is Sasa Day, so I qualified. because I qualified for Cyril Ramaphosa's 350 rands. Yeah. But instead of actually going to queue for Cyril Ramaphosa's 350, I'm here doing the job that I hate. You know, sometimes I come across people asking me, says, Herman, do you enjoy this work? My goodness, I said, tell me, is there any normal human being who can love this terrible job, this brutal job? This job is brutal. I'm away from my family right now. John has been away from his family since Thursday. Michael has been away from his family since Thursday. So you can imagine our spouses and our families. Togo is going to be crisscrossing this province. I can imagine. I feel sorry for the husband and the children. It's a brutal job. But one thing about this job, it's one of the most rewarding jobs. And I'm proud to see South Africans, particularly some of you on the ground. When we launched the People's Dialogue on the 6th of December 2019, you raised your hands, you did things on your own. And I remember after launching the party in 2020, one day coming back from our first Senate strategic session, I get home on national television. I see the ActionSA in Hazy View having a protest against GBV in Hazy View. I said to myself, my goodness, what the hell is going on? I mean, the party that time was, 3-4 months old. Here were actioners being mentioned on SABC, on national television. So thank you very much, fellow South Africans, for actually realizing that this project of fixing South Africa is not something that can be done by one person. It's going to be done, it's going to require all of us. All of us. Those who voted for the ANC, those who have abstained from voting, almost 20 million South Africans of voting age They have abandoned politics. ActionSA is on the mission to get them back into the system. Of the 20, almost 10 million of them have not even bothered to register. But one thing I can proudly tell you, as a ActionSA, we are winning to get them to realize the power of democracy. Because they were taught by the education system that our kids are subjected to. Are you aware 80% of public schools in this country are dysfunctional? 80% are dysfunctional. That is why they don't understand and realize the power of their vote, of a free vote, not a vote that is a secret. So we're on that mission to ensure that we get those people come 2024 so that ActionSA can emerge as the second biggest political party in this country. And when we emerge as the second biggest political party in the country, this is a big statement I'm making. And I'm unapologetic about this. I want South Africans to know that I'm not in this business to be opposition. I'm not in this job to be a member of parliament. I'm not looking for work. And any action working with us on this project, it's not about Toko that you're going to be the premier or the MP. All of us are here to fix this country. We are not doing this job to be in opposition. Because tell me, what can you do as an opposition? You'll be an MP earning over R1 million a month. What can a month or a year? What can you do for society? The only way you can change the lives of society. The reason why people must get into politics is to govern. Because when you govern, that's when you can change the lives of the people. And we demonstrated this as ActionSA with the last year's local government elections. We contested 6 municipalities. 6 during COVID, at the time when IEC made us to contest as a logo. I looked at right now as I was entering that logo that IEC gave us problems. They made us refuse to put our name on a ballot paper. But we made history, electoral history in this country. Contesting 6 municipalities out of 278. But today ActionSA immediately emerged as the 6th biggest political party in the country. A party that was just over a year old. Now, obviously, that was just the beginning. We need to expand. Right now, I'd like to really commit to you. I'm glad today to announce Toko Mashiane as a provincial chairperson for Mpumalanga. Last month, as you're aware, we had Mr. Lidikha in Limpopo. We've got Athol Tolip in the Eastern Cape. We've got Bongani Baloyi in Gauteng. We've got Khosikwena Mangope in the Northern Cape. Northwest. In September, exactly this time, I'll be announcing the Free State. Next month, this time, we'll be having a provincial chairperson for the Free State. So people of Free State can await with great anticipation for them to really have official leadership. We are going to follow it up in October to have Northern Cape and KZN. We've had some interesting challenges as Toko discussed in KZN. It's a very interesting, challenging situation, but fortunate enough, we are not born yesterday. We will navigate these waters. I think I was taught at the early stage of my life that life is not easy. So that's why for me, when I meet challenges, they don't surprise me. I know life is easy. And one thing that I've been taught and I practice is that when you have a problem, deal with it and deal with it as quickly as possible so that it goes away. So people of KZN, they will have a provincial chairperson in Northern Cape in October. At the moment, as you're aware, we had Fakimento in the Western Cape. Unfortunately, our sister is not well, so we have the responsibility to look for someone to replace her. We wish her well and speedy recovery. So I can commit to you, all of you South Africans, by end of this year, ActionSA is going to have all 9 provincial chairpersons, because that is very important, so that we can then devote 2023 for ensuring that we have wall-to-wall structures, street by street, corner by corner. Every household we need to really touch to ensure that we get this 20 million South Africans who have not voted before. We just get 25% of them. ActionSA is the second biggest political party, because one good thing about ActionSA, we're a party founded with a mandate of 2.4 million South Africans. I think our electoral support last year demonstrated our power by becoming the 6th biggest political party in the country, only contesting 6 municipalities. But what I like about it, 2 things. In all the municipalities we contested, we took the ANC under 50%. All of them. And if you just look at what we did with them in Johannesburg, I mean, that's why they hate us. I mean, Joburg, we caused havoc there. We did not just take them under 40%. We took them to in the early 30s. They will never recover from the damage, the blow that we inflicted. We inflicted serious damage. And we are proud as ActionSA for having been instrumental in the formation of government in Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg, and Tshwane. If it was not because of ActionSA, these 3 municipalities will be under ANC government today, and they'll never get those municipalities back for the next 4 years or so that's left. We're really very proud about this. But what makes us even much more profoundly proud, something that not even Nelson Mandela achieved in 1994, is the diversity of our support. Our diversity of support is really something that humbles me. It humbles all the actioners, because we received support from predominantly black areas. So to give you an example, for the first time since 1994, the political party that created havoc for the ANC in Soweto, it used to be the playground and thought no one can ever actually take over Soweto. Just to give a sense of what happened, in 2016 when I was campaigning and eventually became the mayor of the city of Johannesburg, at the time under the DA banner with unlimited budget. Unlimited, when I talk about unlimited budget, DA only achieved 8% of Soweto support. ActionSA came as a logo, because IEC subjected us to a logo that says we are a party of a logo. People of Soweto gave us 22% support for the first time. 8%. Then we're going to the suburbs. We're going to the suburbs, which has been a playground of the DA. I thought they've got no competition. ANC literally non-existent than other parties. DA used to control the white electorate. ActionSA came with the DA saying, ActionSA, if they get 3 councillors in Joburg, they'll be lucky. We came in the suburbs, we received 20% of the support in those areas. This is profound. And we continued. 6 months later, we've already contested 3 by-elections. The first one, we contested Ward 96 in Tshwane, and Ward 80% white Afrikaners. When we contested last year, The first time we contested this municipality and this ward, ActionSA received 6% of voter support. DA used to be in the 80s. We came, contested this by-election for the first time. We moved from 6% to 22%. We got DA to lose 29% at NGK VD. We continued. A month or so later, we contested a by-election in Soweto, Ward 53. Also one of the biggest wards, where NC used to be, it was a playground for them. When we contested this ward in the last local government election, we received, it was one of the least performing award. We received 12%, which was still good, but overall 22% in Soweto. We contested this ward. We're the only party that had showed the biggest growth. We moved from 12% to 22% in this ward. So we are continuing. We contested KwaNobuhle. In less than 2 months, Athol Trollip one day requested to have a special Senate meeting to say there's an opportunity. We're moving from nothing to whatever percentage. I'm glad to tell you we contested that municipality. Eastern Cape for the first time. Less than 2 months of campaigning, we received 8% of the votes in this municipality. And we will continue contesting more and more to municipalities as we go forward. In fact, you will see on the 27th of this month, we're going to make history in this country. ActionSA is going to have a ward without going for contestation. I can't give you the details right now, just really wait. It's going to be a historic event where ActionSA is going to have a ward without going through an election. But wait, watch the space. So, Toko and the rest of Mpumalanga people, thank you so much for embracing us, welcoming us to your province. Let us all work together to fix this province. It's a province where I remember when I was requested to participate this, someone came to me with evidence of 27 murders and families. He says, we've got 27 families that wants to have a press conference with you. Some of them, their family members, even up to today, they don't know what happened to them. Some of them, they know who killed their family members. He says, Mashaba, can you please come and help us? We're going to take over these matters so that our people can see justice. We can't sit in a country where our people are just being murdered and we just move on. This is not South America. We are not going to let this country be another South America. Look at what happened in Krugersdorp the other day. Look at all these murders of our poor people. The only real entertainment that they can afford. It's not that they want to go to the ship. That's the only entertainment that they can afford. Buy a beer and go and listen to free music and have an opportunity to interact with their friends. And we go and get people to murder them. We'll have to really fix this nonsense. We'll have to fix this nonsense. We've got to really deal with the illegal immigration in our country. This country, South Africa, for the last 400 years, built at the back of migrants, and we've got to continue. We've got to continue asking people of the world to come to South Africa. But they must come here legally, and when they're here, they must respect our laws. That's all we're asking. We're not asking for anything unusual. We need to deal with those issues. Toko, as I said to Silo in Limpopo, Mr. Lidija, coming from SATU, SATU and I are big, I don't know whether they like me, but I don't like them. I want to declare. And the reason why I don't really like them is because they destroyed the future of millions of people. And I know when you started, I had discussions with Sililo and some of the teachers. So we've got to really deal with providing good quality education. As ActionSA, we're going to have one department of education, not two. We don't need two departments of education. The principals of schools are going to be appointed by us as government. We are going to bring school inspectors. But more importantly, we're going to bring back God into our classroom. Our kids, every morning before they go to class, they must go to assembly, go and pray. And those who don't want to pray, look, they've got a constitutional right. We'll find them in class. Let them wait. That 2 or 3%. We are not going to really force them. But one thing for sure is that I think for me as a Christian, we are not going to impose my Christian values on others. Because one thing I've realized with religion, all the religions, we all believe in God, and we are going to coexist. And ActionSA is going to be that vehicle that is going to get South Africans to coexist. That is why one of the core values of ActionSA is non-racialism. I just want to get the people of Mpumalanga, Toko, that are interested to join us as ActionSA. If they're looking for a racial party, please ask them to go somewhere else. We'd really love to really have all the votes. But please don't come and tell us about race. Tell us about, are you South African? We want us, all of us, I want to be a South African before you can really call me black as God created me. I'm a creation of God. And everyone else, Michael is a creation of God. We're going to coexist. We are going to do away with all discriminatory laws. In South Africa, we are first going to be South African before we can be anything else. So we are uncompromising, unapologetic about our commitment in building an unracial South Africa. Because once you practice that, who's going to benefit? Our poor people, who today, 46% of them, 13 million South Africans are unemployed. And the only way we can give them these opportunities, we are going to allow the skills to be a determining factor. We are going to allow the private sector, particularly SMMEs, to drive our economy so that they can employ our people. Not we're going to be the party that deals in cash and US dollars. No. We believe, as I said, we believe in the rule of law. We believe in the rule of law. Our banking system is there to regulate the flow of monies. We believe in our police. When there's an issue, we take it to the police. We don't use mafia type styles to deal with matters. Those are some of the fundamental things that for us as ActionSA we stand for. So if you don't stand with some of the issues that I've articulated, please don't waste our time. Don't come and disrupt us. But we know that people will be sent to come and disrupt us. But one thing for sure, please study our constitution before you join ActionSA for wrong reasons, because you were sent to come and destabilize us. We're a brutal party when we come to dissenters. But we're a fair party. We believe in our constitution. There are certain aspects of the constitution we don't agree with, but because we believe in the rule of law, we'll go into parliament and change those laws. We are not going to bend tires and act outside the law. Whatever we don't like, that is why we want to be in government, so that whatever laws that we don't agree with, then we can actually change them there. So please, fellow actioners, but especially you, the ones who've been on the ground all this time, please work with Toko to ensure that we can make a mark. We can make a mark here in Mpumalanga and ultimately nationally, so that ActionSA can be the leader of the multi-party government that is going to be formed after the 2024 national elections. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
afterwards. Any member of the media, if you wish to pose any questions to any member of the panel, are more than welcome to do so. If you can just let me know your name, what media house you're from, and to whom your question is directed. Any of the guys up here would be happy to answer your question. So, any questions? Yes.
Thank you. I'm Toko from the SABC, to the chairperson. I just want to know what you were doing before joining ActionSA. Were you still an ANC member or what? And secondly, were you persuaded to join the party, or you decided on your own to join it? Why? Lastly, to the president, is she the interim chairperson, or was she appointed or elected? And is she going to be an interim chairperson until you have an elective conference, or how are you going to deal with that? Thank you very much.
Before you respond, just grab the microphone.
Okay, thank you, SABC. Before I joined ActionSA, I was a member of ANC, but I never renewed my membership. So I was no longer a member of the ANC. Secondly, you said I was persuaded. Yes, I was persuaded by what is happening in this country. What is happening in this country persuaded me to join ActionSA. No one came to me and forced me. I was persuaded to accept the chairperson post, but joining ActionSA, I was persuaded by the shenanigans and all the things that is happening in the country. I realized that no, I can't stay at home and be angry of things happening. I need to stand up and go and do something about it.
Thank you very much, Mr. SABC. It's an interesting question you're asking. Fortunate enough, it is addressed by our constitution, which is a public document. All structures of ActionSA at this point in time are interim until such time that we can have elective conference. And the Senate of ActionSA has taken a very strategic decision. We will only have elective conference after the 2024 elections, or until such time that we've got structures all over the country. Because there are some people who want to bring some tendencies of the previous parties. They want to have elective conference without actually first reading our constitution. Read our constitution, don't always come and really waste our time. How can ActionSA today have a national elective conference when people of Northern Cape or people of Mpumalanga would not have, if let's say we had a national elective conference, under which structures, who qualifies to come to that? So until such time that we have wall-to-wall structures throughout the country, we're going to run on an interim constitution. And anyone who doesn't like it, fortunate enough, ActionSA is a voluntary organization. If you don't like the constitution, resign from us. Don't really want to come and really waste our time that you want the elective conference. You want the elective conference, there's an elective conference coming in December. Go to that conference. There's an elective conference coming in December. Go to that conference. Read our constitution. Our constitution is so clear. So Toko is an interim. I'm the interim president. Our constitution is interim, and the Senate, which is our highest decision-making body, is the one that determines when they will take the decision when we are ready as a party, when we have national structures, so that the outcome of that elective conference must actually represent the entire country.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Any more questions? Covered? Good. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, guys. It's been a great pleasure to be in your beautiful province. Looking forward to seeing you again. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. People look up and tell us how. You're looking for a conference. There's a conference in December. What?